Before we can keep the peace, we sometimes have to make it. This is what's going on. Euodia and Syntyche were two women, loved the Lord, had labored in the gospel, and they were going at it over some issue that we don't know about. And you think, how could that happen in church? Well, actually, you'd only think that if you'd never been in church. They were having a relational difficulty, and their difficulty between each other was affecting the whole church. So much so that Paul, who is in prison in Rome, has heard about it. So this is not a pretty situation. You see, church conflict is not just a relational issue. It's spiritual. It's actually the problems and the fears and the anxieties of the old age leaking into the new age, the new kingdom. When Euodia and Syntyche, and pardon my pronunciation if you say it different, when they fight, they're bringing the brokenness of the passing world into the church. It's like an infection, and it's it's like a disease that's trying to steal life. So Paul appeals to them to agree in the Lord. It's not just natural agreement. We try to solve problems by finding natural agreement. Let's, win-win, we both get what we want. That's not God's model. He wants us to agree not because we have the same ideas, but because we agree in the Lord. I've often looked over church congregations and say, Lord, this is a motley crew. I don't know. If I was choosing people, I don't think I'd pick them. But he chooses us, and he brings us together, and we're diverse, and we have all kinds of different issues and values and goals in life, and yet we have this one thing. We have unity in the Lord. It's the love of Jesus that brings us together. Laurel and I passed our 48th anniversary last month, and I laugh because, I've done pre-marriage counseling, and most pre-marriage counseling is based on compatibility. Having the same interests, the same friends, the same values, all these. If Laurel and I had been subjected to that test before we got married, we would have never got married. We had one thing in common: the love of Jesus, the call of God. We are so completely different, aren't we, Lois? We are. Lois knows. We're like night and day. I like different things and she likes all that, but there's agreement in the Lord. And that's what yokes us together. You see, he says the word that's translated as true companion literally means yoke fellow. It's Jesus yoking us together. And he calls us to partners as yoke fellows. So in those days, they used oxen to plow the fields. And oxen are slow, but they're strong. And they would yoke them in pairs, and they would build these big wooden yokes that were custom fit to match them, and they would plow together. And this is what God calls us to do. Does God need us for his kingdom? No, he chose us. We get to participate with. He calls us to be yoke fellows with him in establishing the kingdom, and he calls us to be yoke fellows with each other, which means we need to learn how to walk together. Have you ever tried walking with somebody you've never walked with before? Two different paces, two different cadences, two different ways of stepping. It takes practice to learn how to walk together. And this is what he's saying, that we are yoke fellows, that we have to learn how to walk together. Paul is reminding the community that because we are yoked together in Christ, that we are irrevocably yoked to each other.